So correlation and causation. Again, just a quick run through. Correlation is when you have two things and they follow a similar trend or the opposite trend. If something goes up, then something falls down, for example. Causation is when one is caused by the other, which is much more difficult to determine. So in this example, you have your Oxford applicants, how many white, how many black, and then Cambridge applicants again. And then you see how many. So out of all the black applicants, 3 were successful, out of white was, or the other way around, 1 in 3 white applicants and 1 in 5 black applicants, and it's fairly similar in Cambridge. Does this actually mean that the Oxbridge admissions process is discriminatory in any way? Well, maybe, but it could also mean that instead of discriminating against black applicants, they discriminate for private schools, and maybe there's more white applicants coming from private schools. So there is a third factor that might affect these numbers, and these numbers do not prove that the Oxbridge application process is actually unfair to anyone. You need to dig deeper than that to actually know the real story. This is another one. Correlation does not imply causation. So global average temperature is rising. Number of pirates is falling. Are they related? Is it that pirates don't like warm weather? Or was it that pirates kept it cold and now that they're dying out, suddenly it's getting warmed up, we need more pirates? Or is this just a trend and it's got nothing to do? And I'm pretty sure there isn't a third variable affecting both of those. Although I'm sure you can find one. No one? Skyscrapers linked with impending financial crashes. There, I think there is a third variable in that you can't keep going up, but at some point there'll be a crash. When you're making loads of money, why not build a nice skyscraper? And then, at some point there isn't as much money to go around for whatever reason. What goes up must come down. Nothing to do with skyscrapers really. It's just two different areas that are influenced by the same thing. This one's about some research done by a Department of Culture, Media and Sports, so my colleagues, my statisticians in DCMS. They found that going to the library makes people as happy as getting a £1,359 pay rise. So based on that, and I like the comment there about how, yep, it's fantastic. Why have we got a policy to close all the public libraries when actually it makes people really happy? And then you just have to think, is there a third factor there? Is it about going to a library, or is it about reading books, which you don't necessarily have to do in the library and shouldn't affect our policy on closing them at all? So, or is it just like, well, reading is a very enjoyable. Yeah, the other thing is, how do you put a value on things as well? Yeah. There you go. Significant correlation does not apply causation, which I think is the motto of every statistician, certainly asked in every interview that I've ever been to, in some form or other. So either it's coincidence or there's a third common cause. Yeah, there's just another example. There's kind of this one's my favourite actually out of all of these. So, and in fact, this is something done by Bloomberg. It's just the kind of skit on correlation and causation. So they've got murders in New York State, and this is the graph for the murders, and they found a mountain range that actually looks very much like the trend. Is this mountain range affecting the murder rate?
There's a whole website,
Yes, yep. Yeah, there's loads, I think.